actually means. Now, I could go on to read some more of that, but projected earthquakes everywhere.
Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and I'm going to attempt to try to do a little bit of a comparison between these two radios. This is my Grundig 750. Now, this is a Grundig. This is not the newer, I think it's Eaton's S-8800. This is the old Grundig 750. I got it about 4 years ago. And this is the new Tecsun S-8800. And I'm going to try to do some kind of comparison of some of the functions, reception. It's empirical, and sometimes things don't go right, but we're going to give it a try. It is 6 o'clock in the morning here in Clearwater, Florida. We have quite a bit of fog. I don't know how that's going to affect reception, but we're going to give it a try. So one thing I did notice as I was setting up is I did a scan, an ATS, on the Grundig 750, and I usually get a lot of noise detected as transmissions, broadcast. And so I get a lot of memory locations used up, and it's just noise. And there's only 100 memory locations on this one. I don't remember how many the newer S-8800 has. It's at least 100. So I did a scan initially of the shortwave bands, and it filled up the 100 channels before it got up to 31 meters. So it didn't even get the chance to scan 31 meters. And I went back and I listened to what it found, and it was like out of the 100 channels, there were only 4 that were actually broadcast. So I said, well, let me try the S-8800. Again, I'm using, I haven't said it before, so how can I say again? You know, when you get old, things just don't work anymore. I'm using my G5RV external antenna, and it comes in through a switch that allows me to connect to 2 radios, so I can switch back and forth. And right now, the antenna is hooked to the S-8800. Now, the cables that do the connecting between the radios and the switch are different. So there's some variation there. Plus, I have to use an additional adapter on the one that's going to the Grundig because I don't have the right cables. I only have one of the correct cables, which is going from the switch, which is P239, to B and C, which both of these radios use. And I have one cable that does that. One thing I need to do, and I'm not very good at it anymore, so I put it off, is I've got to make some more adapter cables. Anyway, off the subject here. So we're just going to play around the bands. Now, where I'm at now is I'm at 3.185, and you heard the preacher man there. And he's coming in loud and clear, full scale. I don't know how well my microphone, which is over here, is picking it up, but it's good. It's loud and clear. If we go down to 31, where's my buttons here? 3185, and I don't have the antenna hooked, so I'm just hearing noise. Listen to that noise. I can barely hear him in there. And now I've selected, let me turn this down for a second. I've selected the external antenna, so it's using that probably 2 feet of wire as an antenna. So let me flip the switch. Let me turn the volume up, and then I'll flip the switch back to the antenna. A little distorted for some reason. I've got him on narrow bandwidth to keep the noise out. But it's almost like it's too strong a signal. Now what I can do is this does have RF gain control. So let me see if that'll help. I got it on auto right now. No, that didn't help. Now another thing this radio has is antenna attenuator. To push that. So I've got a little distortion in this radio. The signal is full scale, so it's like it's over modulating. It's probably not the right term. Overdriving the front end on this radio because the signal is so strong. Let me try the bandwidth. Okay, there's wide. Go back to narrow.
Thank you so much for that.
We tried tuning it a little bit. Nope. So right now, when we turn this down, I hope the microphone is picking up that radio. It's much further away. Let's go back to the 8800. And we'll turn the volume back up. It's destroyed too. So that signal is, for some reason, destroyed on both radios. So let's go to another channel, another frequency. This is, again, I did a scan on this radio, so these are the signals that it found. Let me turn the volume back up.
Where you are. Range Magazine's over 25 years of experience covers news that you'll never hear on mainstream media. As the winner of 4 consecutive Freedom of the Press Awards.
Okay, that's 4.840. Very clear, very loud, full scale.
Don't miss the great story, photos.
Let's try that on this radio, on the Grundig.
Range Magazine. Call 1-800-RANGE-4U. Ask CJ about her Buckaroo calendar.
Turn this down. And we'll switch the antenna back over. Clears about. Perfect. Let me just look this frequency up on the internet and see what this could possibly be. This is 4840. Or it's like it's next door. And it is next door. It's probably WWCR out of Nashville, Tennessee. So, not surprising I'm getting that loud and clear. Yeah, okay. So, that's good. Now let's go back to this radio and see what other frequencies it has found. Turn the volume back up.
For anyone at any age. I personally met Don, spent hours visiting with him.
Noise. Some kind of data. Oh, WWV, 5 megahertz. Full scale, loud and clear. We'll switch to that over here. Turn this down all the way. Switch the antennas. Should be loud and clear. Yep.
At the dawn, 11 hours, 18 minutes, coordinated universal...
So that's coming in loud and clear. Let's go back to the Tecsun. Turn the volume back up. I would say, and it could be again at some of the settings, I would say the sound quality on the Grundig is a little better. Looks like about the same size speakers. I don't know. Let me turn the volume up some more and I'll adjust the bandwidth. It seems to be best on the 3 kilohertz bandwidth. Now,
19 minutes, 4 universal time.
okay, the female voice you heard on WWV supposedly is out of Hawaii, a transmitter in Hawaii. So that's coming in pretty good on both the radios. Let's try the next one on this radio. Let me get my camera back up so I can see where I'm pointing. Okay, turn the volume back up.
Ahora bien, si es
5.025.
tantas versiones, por supuesto que en ese mismo momento cuando se
Spanish station.
tuvo una repercusión.
Probably close by.
Demasiado se convirtió en un hecho noticioso.
Try the Grundig.
Pero muy interesante. Se habló en Cuba, se habló en...
Now you notice when I switch over to the other radio, so this one doesn't have an input, it's deaf. Of course, since I'm using the external antenna, then it doesn't have the advantage of the built-in antenna, which most likely if I tried to use a telescopic antenna in this room with all the RF, it'd just be overwhelmed by noise. Okay, let's go back to Grundig. Turn this volume down. Turn the volume on Grundig. Okay, we're looking for 5.025. Yeah. Pretty full scale. Okay, let's go back. Another thing about this type of testing, it takes a long time. Turn the volume back up. I don't know. It sounds a little clearer on this guy right here. If they're pretty close, but this one sounds a little clearer on this station. Okay, let's go up. Preacher man. Okay, we're going to move along here. There he is. Clears the bell. Full scale. Another Spanish station, 5.970. Another Spanish station. Another Spanish station. I get a lot of those this time of the day down in that area of the bands. Another one. Now I'm looking for a weak station. Some bleed over there. I don't have the medium wave filter in line right now. Another Spanish station, probably close by. Bleed over. Now let's just see if that radio has, if the Grundig has the bleed over. This is 7.370. 7370. Switch the antenna over. Turn the volume up. Actually, I'm not getting anything. Nothing. So, possibly, you go back to this radio, possibly the two stations I'm hearing, they might both be on medium wave, which this radio doesn't suffer from the medium wave bleed over like the Tecsun does. I would say, at least for my area, let me turn this down. For my area, since I have a lot, I mean, 100, just about 100 strong medium wave and FM stations within listening distance of my location. So this bleed over problem you may not have if you don't have that condition in your area. But if you're in an area like mine, you'll probably have the bleed over problem, and you'll need to use an external filter when you're trying to listen to shortwave. It's just a given fact. I showed you in a previous show a filter that I used. It worked very good. It did a very good job. I think it's about $16 or $17, and it fixes the problem. That's the problem. The Grundig 750 doesn't have that bleed over problem. Okay, let's go on. Okay, we jumped all the way up to 9.865, and the station is very weak. There's 10 megahertz. Let's try the Grundig on 10 megahertz. Turn the volume down on this one, turn the volume up. This is not full scale. This one is full scale. No, I take it back, it's not full scale. A little weak on that radio. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, I'm going to stop here because it appears the reception on both radios are about the same, with the only difference is the S-8800 has that medium wave bleed over, which can be cured by either moving out in the woods or using that filter I showed you, external filter I showed you. I'm going to do try to do a show, one more show, or at least one more show on the 8800, showing some of the unique features, such as the remote and the things you can do with the remote. And one other thing I kind of concluded from this test, turn this down, from this test is it appeared that the, empirical data here, it's limited testing, but it appeared in this limited testing that the S-8800 did a much better job of the ATS function. Now, you might want to say, well, it didn't pick up as many stations, so the reception is not as good. But the little testing I did here, the reception is good on, or the same on both radios. And there are some weak stations in here that I found earlier that I could find on both stations that were very weak. Like I found, until it went off the air, I found Radio New Zealand was pretty weak, but it was very understandable, and I got it on both radios. So I think the reception capability is about the same as far as sensitivity on both radios, with the exception of this one has that bleed over problem. So that's it. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't used my Amazon store and you're going to do some Christmas shopping, please use my Amazon store. You can go to my Amazon store, and then you can buy anything you want, things that are not even in my store, and I get a credit for it. I use that credit to buy radios to review. I'm looking at that RTL-SDR.com kit, I'll call it. It has the dongle, and it has some rather unique antennas that when you look at them, you go, well, that's just a TV antenna, is all it is. But it has the cables and the connectors on the antenna that goes to that dongle. So they had those on sale for a very short time of just the antennas, without the dongle, for $10, and they sold out like instantly. And they say they're making some more, but it's been 2 months now, and they still haven't put it on the market. There is one eBay seller that's selling that antenna kit for a very low price. It's like $8.95. It's in Hong Kong, and he's a brand new seller, so I'm a little hesitant to order that, but I'm going to either buy that one and wait 6 weeks to get it, or maybe never get it, or buy the full kit, which includes the dongle, which would be a spare for me, from Amazon, which is $25. And kind of toying with that. Possibly if I get some sales in my stores, I'll go for the one that's $25. Anyway, oh gosh, oh man. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Oh, by the way, if you live in Florida, cold weather is coming. On the East Coast of the United States, cold weather is here. Bye-bye.